Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa im 5. Strafprozess. Wir müssen den Mord an Makoto Ikusaba aufklären. Und Kyoko schießt die ganze Zeit gegen uns und verdächtigt uns. Und deswegen sind wir, glaube ich, echt das Prime Subject hier gerade. Das ist überhaupt nicht gut. Das ist wie beim ersten Prozess dann. Nur diesmal noch schlimmer.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
Ja, möglich ist es,
I must
ja.
admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
The suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to the bullet section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Super.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
One we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
This is more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what you might do. I don't want it anyway. So, what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. Which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body, wurde sie
The
dadurch
knife we
nicht
found lodged
gestorben.
in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, that seals it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong! Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Being was stabbed twice in the same spot. No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. I don't really know about the body. Important thing now is whether she was stabbed in the same spot twice, right?
Shoot!
Oh, komm schon, was ist denn das? Hä? The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Ich will mir kurz das hier angucken. During the explosion, the victims had ended. They were however dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single... Oh, scheiße.
I got it!
Hätte ich mir das einfach mal angeguckt.
Clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Ach, da stand extra dran, dass du nur einmal erstochen wurde.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Das war halt so unnötig. Aber ich dachte, ich habe halt...
Then the knife.
Ach, egal. Ich bin einfach nur doof.
Was
Das ist
just
die
another piece of
Antwort.
camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
One explanation I can think of for the explosion. Ja, dann Ding.
I got it!
Ja.
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Ja, dann kann es er schon wieder nicht sein, weil er wusste ja noch gar nichts davon, dass sie den da hier Ding kaputt machen. Also hätte er auch gar nicht die Bombe mitnehmen können.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Ja, aber ich glaube irgendwie trotzdem nicht, dass dies war. Das wäre zu einfach.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. we still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true.
Ja.
It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine, I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
Aber davor speichere ich erstmal.
It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
You need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. You have to concentrate. Okay. Wir hören uns erstmal alles an.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Yep.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up, and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Mann,
Yes.
ich will das nicht treffen.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Yes, I see. Yes, I see. So what you're saying is I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
I think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction there somewhere.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Boah, Leute, ich hab echt keine Ahnung. The knife was a cover-up, and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Which only leaves... I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't
Warte.
Oh yeah! That's gotta be it! There was
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has
Yet to be determined, correct?
Ach komm, das war so gut.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Ja, keine Ahnung. Ich hab echt keine Ahnung. Ich bin echt dumm. Ich verstehe das nicht. Ja, es ist ziemlich doof. Ja, Mann, lass mich gerade überlegen. Ja, ich verstehe es nicht. Ah. Hilft mir, Leute. Ich überleg mal grad. Ich überlege gerade übrigens nur. Okay, ich habe noch eine Idee. Aber ich weiß nicht, ob es Sinn macht. Das was Ding, Yasuhiro sagt, macht eigentlich sogar eigentlich auch Sinn.
Well, yeah. And it wasn't even. There's only one.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Jetzt überlegt.
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her
Dann war
entire
der Schlag auf den Kopf die Fatal Injury.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury
Has yet to be
Oh, danke schön. Jesus, ich bin fast am Arsch.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Stimmt.
Good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
Aber ich hatte an sich schon... Ich hatte natürlich schon den richtigen Riecher am Anfang, weil ich wollte halt erst sagen, dass die ganzen Wunden...
Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Ach, stimmt.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Shit.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Was? Nein, habe ich nicht. Real murder weapon. Pfeile? Könnten es die Pfeile sein? Ich habe irgendwie... Waren es die Pfeile? Warte mal, was steht da denn? A set of titanium arrows was found in the dojo locker. There appears to be 10 in total. Ah, was ist denn das?
I got it!
Okay, war richtig.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Das waren die Pfeile?
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doing it because there's one more thing about the weapon. One more secret. Was? Oh. Die Duct Tape. Oh, das Duct Tape, das könnte sein.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Yeah, wouldn't be really quick enough, which is why they used the bloody duct tape.
Titanium, it was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal. It seems like an arrow would just be too...
Yes.
No, that's wrong.
Haben wir zusammengeklebt, die Pfeile, oder was?
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Ein Klebeband ist die beliebteste Waffe.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
Der hat den Schlüssel.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Ja, das haben wir.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence Kyoko went to the dojo. You must be connected to the dojo locker. Ja, ist auch der Schlüssel.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is... right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Okay Leute, ich würde sagen, das machen wir hier beim nächsten Mal weiter bei Danganronpa und ciao.